we were we were invited to this bar, right? And at this bar there was officials from the big exchanges there, and there were also a couple of projects as well, that were, just token projects, and OneCoin as well, and they were there, uh, talking to the exchanges on integration and all this stuff, and we got talking to these projects, and they were asking us about some of their directions forward that they should progress on, and David and Fabrice and myself, we've been around for a while and we know what we're talking about. So we were giving some advice to these projects that were there. Uh, we weren't being dicks about it. We were just giving them straight up advice. And and the other side of the table, there were these people. I'm not going to say what they do, but they overheard us, giving advice, and they overheard our knowledge in the blockchain space, and they came over to us and and asked if they could sit near us or whatever, and we were like, yeah, fine. And they said, what is it you guys do? Because we've been overhearing what you've been chatting about, and you seem to know what you're talking about. So we introduced ourselves. We introduced Raptorium as a project, and they were like, well, we need to work with you guys. So so that was pretty cool. So now, since that time, we've been on numerous calls since then with these people, about directions forward. I mean, when I'm talking about these people, they're not just any old people. They're
Yeah.
big hitters. so
Yeah. Yeah.
so so yeah. But I'm not gonna say any more than that. But I think what Hunter's trying to get at is it's if we can impress people like that without actually trying, um, imagine what we can do when the ecosystem's built out and everything's in place, which we are working hard towards doing. Uh, so it's as I've said before, this is a dream that all of us have got, to have this ecosystem in place and all the pieces of the puzzle uh, pressed firmly together, so we can actually show off another aspect of blockchain that no one has experienced yet, properly in the UTXO space. And each one of us, you, Jesse, HNS, everyone involved in the project, Mancini, we're all a piece of that puzzle. And once we fit them all together, and we do it in a way where it caters for what the world expects to see in a blockchain environment. By when I say that, I mean, like, without having to think about about using blockchain, just something so easy that you don't know you're using it, and that's what we're aiming for, with what we're building with Talon Wallet, and we also think that's what the world should expect, because otherwise
Mhm.
they're not you're not going to get adoption of the product that you're building, because let's face it, right now the core wallet works, we can create assets and this and that, but the general population is not going to be receptive to using it because it looks difficult to use. So when we build something that caters to expectations, then that is something game changing. I mean, for example, there's games coming out. Well, there's games out right now that are utilizing AVAX. We're not going to go into why AVAX is a piece of shit, but
We
um,
already did.
yeah, yeah,
California.
yeah, we did, yeah, we did,
Anyway, we did
but uh,
catch that.
but the point I'm making is they have been delivered blockchain in such a way where the gamers have to create a wallet on AVAX through their game application, uh, and it's delivered in such an easy way that I think it was 7 or 8 million wallets last week that have been created on AVAX, and that's the sort of position that we're aiming for the ease of use on Raptorium, and I think that's some of the most important one of the most important directions we should be aiming for. I mean, people we can talk about transactions decoupling, we can talk about contracts, but people don't know what they are. You know, everyone
Don't
doesn't know what
care.
they are. They don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't even
It,
care.
it's all about user interface, and results. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
The analogy is we're in
pulling them out.
we're at like DOS, disk operating system, and we're heading towards Mac or Windows, and it's going to be so much easier and so much more user friendly.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.